Mr. Moin, an associate professor of marketing at the very famous Queen University of London. So Dr. Moin, basically coming from military background, I would say, particularly on Bangladesh Navy. And he's a proud member of Navy and senior officials, which he would talk about into his introduction, definitely. And he has authored several books, including The Purpose of Life. In my YouTube channel, you might get one of the video about the book as well. 2 years back, we recorded a video. And also he authored Leadership Compass, Creativity in the Imagination Age, and Brand Storytelling in the Digital Age. All of these books has been published from one of the most famous publisher in the world. So what does it mean? It means significance. It means, the kind of impact Dr. S.M.A. Moin has, created through his writing, storytelling, and impacting and imparting leadership ideas, thoughts, philosophies in the context of his own genuine lens. And that's what tonight we're going to talk about, the purpose, in light to his book, the book which I talked about, The Purposes of Life or Purpose of Life. So ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, please help me to welcome the author, the Associate Professor of Queen University of London, Dr. S.M.A. Moin. Welcome, Moin Bhai. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor, and I'm really delighted to be able to actually share some of my ideas regarding the purpose of life. So yeah, happy to be here.
Absolutely. So Moin Bhai, অনেক সময় আমরা যেটা বলি যে আসলে, of course, we want to introduce this book and also your breakthrough ideas, and that you are actually imparting throughout many books. And one of the book, as we said, The Purpose of Life. So we want to make it a conversational. We want to welcome questions from the audience. If you want to ask questions, please raise your hand. 1. 2, you also can write down the questions. So we will be taking all of the questions. Definitely, we will try to accommodate. So as a form of beginning, I want to throw a couple of my questions first, and that is in line with the purpose of life. So if we can have, brief overview of your book, Moin Bhai. So why you have written this book, The Purpose of Life? What is the significance of purpose that you have actually, elaborated into your book? If you can kindly give us this, some brief or light of the book.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much indeed. The title of the book is The Purpose of Life, Understanding the Divine Message Through the Lens of Leadership and Strategy. So my purpose of writing this book is to understand the Holy Quran. Actually, what purpose Holy Quran, that is the Almighty Allah, has given us when he has created and descended us into this world. Now, thing is that if you don't understand the grand purpose of life, which I say grand purpose, obviously many people can say many things about purpose of life. If you don't understand the grand purpose of life, so probably you will not be able to steer your life very well. Say if you are, say, going through hardship. Now, if you really understand the grand message and the grand purpose, you will see that hardship is a way of transformation. So then you feel good when you find hardship. You will see that, okay, there is a meaning out of it. So I basically have written this book to let the Western audience understand what is the purpose of life in light of Holy Quran. So that the leadership and strategy, these two words I've used because a strategy is about long term. So I'm just seeing the life beyond death, because we have come here, but when we die, it's not done. So what is success beyond death? So that is one thing. And leadership is that is basically asking the right questions as well. So for example, if you ask a question like, so, okay, how can I make the better typewriter? Now, you see, when computer has come, and if you ask this question, how can I make better typewriter? It's not a right question. You have to ask question that how typing is going to be transformed by the creation of computer. because you have to switch your business. So asking the right question is very, very important for any human being, whether he's a leader or he's just trying to be a leader. And he will understand in the course of time that every one of us is a leader. That is kind of the title given to us by Almighty Allah. So, okay, I will stop here. Maybe, yeah, you can ask other questions.
Definitely. So I want to clarify, and I see one message, sound is not audible. Is it so? Others, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm not loud and clear.
No, I want to make sure, because I see one.
No problem.
Okay. So everyone can hear. Can you hear us? Okay, fine. Maybe because I see one message, so maybe Maun Mustafa Bhai, if you can check your sound bar, maybe you need to make it higher or something like this, because I can hear and others also can hear. All right. So Dr. SMA Moin, would you kindly give us about your brief journey, because I know personally you came from Bangladesh Navy, senior official, lieutenant commander, right? So, and you had a great, grand career in Bangladesh Navy, and then why did you leave? Actually, as I know that you left it to pursue your purposes of life, right, in a bigger scale, to contribute. So, if you kindly share, your inner journey, the evolution and evolve, that the way you have been evolved, from cadet to Navy to to teaching professionals and to publishing many books.
Okay, yeah, okay, maybe make it a bit short, but sure. Thing is that that I always had a desire to have higher education and then take a doctorate degree and become an academic in any university. Especially, I wanted to work in the Western university so that I can contribute at a global level. It's not about I'm underestimating other universities. No, not at all. But you see that sometimes we come from some family background or some situation where it is not always possible, especially when I completed my second year, like say intermediate, it was 1988. So it's not like say globalization. So it's not that easy that you can find information. I joined Navy because two of my brothers were in Air Force and Army. And I was very kind of fascinated to look at their life. And I thought that Navy would be a great profession to learn leadership. I worked in the Navy for 15 years. I became lieutenant commander, which is like a mid-level career. It's not senior officer or something. But I got exposed to a lot of leadership, management kind of hands-on experience. And I wanted to bring this thing into external world, because I wanted to see my life beyond Navy. So I voluntarily retired, and by this time I had a MBA from MIST. I was the first student actually to complete the MIST, the first batch student. And then I left Navy voluntarily. I worked in a project in Bangladesh for about 6 months. Then I went to UK. I come to UK, do my second MBA. Then I was working in the industry for about 10 years. What I understood that I was actually contributing to the bottom line of the companies, and I was missing something. I thought that if we really want to make a difference into the world, what we have to do, we have to build up the tomorrow's leader with character, real character, honesty, wisdom, and all those things. So I thought that the best opportunity actually to do that is to become an academic. So I started my PhD. So I completed my PhD and then I joined academia. And eventually I initially started with Coventry University, London. And then at some point in time, I moved to Queen Mary University of London, which has got around, as you said, that more than 900 years of experience. Like they're sort of contributing to the all work to people's life who come from all walks of life. And so, yeah, so now I'm really happy because I can contribute to the betterment of the tomorrow's leader by providing some knowledge and wisdom. And especially when I be in the class, I focus on three things. I focus on knowledge knowing, then skill doing, and identity being. Because I think that if you don't have the character, or if you don't have the identity, if you are not driven by purpose, or if you are not clear that why you are here in this world, then no matter what position you go, you are not making a lasting impact. So yeah, so I'm very happy to get this opportunity.
All right, so that's good. So very illustrious career. One of the big question, I would say that our purpose of life, right? And a lot of us also searching the meaning, the purpose of life. I often talk about it. I particularly take sessions on purposes of life, and we try to find out, what could be the purpose of life. Even today, I was conducting day-long sessions for a corporate, today and tomorrow. So we came to work on the purposes of the organization, why it was built in the initial time. So when it comes to the purpose of life, a lot of time I see, we are not aware about. Looks like it's a big question to some people. Why it is a big question? Since you have authored books, I think you have given many deeper thoughts. If you can light on us, why it is a big question.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me just tell you this thing, that I was very, very passionate, and I was very, very thrilled and motivated by some of the great leaders in the world. For example, Steve Jobs, then now Elon Musk, and then many other leaders. You know that. But thing is that everybody kind of working on certain things. Now, what I realized is that these people, they motivated me, they inspired me, and then they taught me actually to ask question that why am I here? That means what is my purpose of life? So interesting thing is that if you really think very kind of minutely, and if you just take a bit pause, if you ask this question that why am I here, or what is my purpose of life, it is a wrong question. That's why the first chapter of my book is the big question. Because if you say why am I here, what is my purpose of life, normally what you will find out, you will find out something that makes you happy, that makes you feel successful by yourself, or that makes you cool to other people's eyes. For example, like when you were a kid, you buy, say, pencil, shakalaka boom boom, and it doesn't write well, but you feel cool because you are using shakalaka boom boom. Or maybe when you are using iPhone, you are feeling special. The right question has to be, why am I created? Because I have not created myself. So somebody has created me. So it's not what I think what is my purpose. That's because if I think something and if I do accordingly, definitely I'm not going to be successful. So the right question is, why am I created? The moment I ask this question, I will find out my Lord. I will find out my Creator. So the second part of my book is the Know Your Lord. And the third part of my book, every part has got like, say, 3 chapters, Know Yourself. The fourth part of my book is the Know Your Purpose. Because before you need to know who has created you, you need to know who you are. Then you need to know what is your purpose. Then you need to know how to manifest the purpose. So the next part of my book is what is the Know Your Art. That means spiritual art or whatever it is, how you manifest the purpose. Finally, I said, because I come from a spiritual, say, background when writing this book, so there might be many people who are atheists. They might think that, okay, I don't believe, so it doesn't matter. So the last part of my book is to believe or not to believe. I make a scenario planning using strategy tools, and I showed them that actually, if you believe, you are far better off even when you are living, and you are also better off when after your death. If you think this, like say, use game theory, or if you use, say, if not all these logic kind of things. So that is in a nutshell the various part of my book. But I think I'm talking about the grand purpose of life. That means what God has decided for us, that what we should do, and that's important.
So actually, a lot of us, we are struggling. আমি যেভাবে বলি যে we want to find out our real purpose of life. And a lot of us, we are struggling at the same time to get in touch with the real purpose. Or how do you know it is the purpose? আমরা কিভাবে বুঝবো যে এটাই আসলে the correct purpose, the real purpose of my life? How would you want to say about it?
Okay,
and how to
so
find
okay, find out is like it's like you have to go back to the religion, because as I told you that first, it's very simple logic that you have not been created by yourself, right? Whether you are a believer or atheist, you cannot deny that you have not been created by yourself. So somebody has created you. Even, I'll just use a quotation from Einstein. So Einstein said that if you look at this sky, you will see that this beauty and this grand design. If you really think about all those subtle grand design, you have to believe that there is a designer and there is a creator behind this universe. From that perspective of thinking, I'm a believer. That's what Einstein has said. And this book was published by Princeton University. So when you think that there is a creator, you have to find out who is your creator. And if you look at Quran, you will see, I will give you the verse number, say 28. So God is saying that if you just read verse number Surah Baqarah, say 25 to 30, you will find it. Possibly it is 28. So God is saying that, okay, you only take him as your God who has created you. You are not alive, but he has brought you into the life. He's providing you food and he's giving you all those things. Then you will die. So he will make you die. And again, he will resurrect. So, I mean, if you accept your God as your creator, there is no problem at all. So then you have to establish that what is the final message. Well, you can take Bible, you can take Gita, you can take Quran, evaluate. You will understand. If you use your judgment, you will understand that what is the final message. And then it is very clear. Quran is absolutely clear. If you look at Quran, you will see the purpose of life. If you want to deduce in 2 words, something like that, one is submission to God and service to humanity. So you have to submit to God and you have to serve the humanity. Now, there are various modes, like, the 5 pillars and other things that I can come, as the discussion progress. So fundamental thing is that you have to submit to God. That means you have to surrender to him. And whatever you do, actually, you have to serve the humanity. But obviously there are some art has been given, which I can elaborate as you go on. Like what is the benefit of Salah, or how do you actually think? It's not about, say, like, it's not exercise. So for example, I just very briefly say, when you're offering prayer, say, why you are offering prayer? If you just think about it. See, we are human beings, we make mistake. So I was in the Navy. So, we had a compass, and compass shows the direction, and then we navigate. But after certain time, you have to calibrate the compass. Otherwise, compass will not give you the right data. Calibrate. So if you think that Salah is kind of your own calibration, you are connecting with the God, and you are reminded yourself of the grand purpose of life. In that case, it's not easy, to be honest, and to serve others and to make meaningful things. So yeah, I can come all those things. But my idea here is that I'm bringing everything from Quran here. It's nothing my idea or something like that, but I'm rather asking a strategic question as a leader, and then I'm finding the answer from there. Because what I tell, it doesn't have any value. What my creator has said, that is what is the value. We have to understand that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. In line to that, I want to connect with the purpose of our life versus the success we think we are and we want to achieve in our life. So how do you actually connect the success and the purpose of life? Is it 2 different things, or is it one thing?
No, it's it's very clear. See, the problem is sometimes, say we will study Malcolm Gladwell, we'll study Shakespeare, we'll study a book, say, written about Steve Jobs. It's good, absolutely good. But we have a book given by God to the humanity, and it's the complete book. So if you talk about success, you see, to be honest with you, my understanding, the reason I wrote this book, you have asked a fantastic question. The reason I wrote this book, Because I read a verse and then everything changed. The verse is 185, Surah Ali Imran. And says, it says that kullu nafsin zaiqatul maut wa innama tuwaffana ujurakum yawmal qiyamah faman juziya anin nari wa udkhila al jannata faqad faz amal hayatu dunya illa mata'ul gurur. So here it's not what I am saying. The God is saying very clearly that every soul will die. Only he is successful who can save himself, slowly coming away from the hell to the heaven. Life in this world is nothing but chattel of deception. That means in this world, you will be deceived by many things. You will think that that might be successful thing. But this has no meaning actually. It doesn't mean that life in this world is not significant. It's absolutely significant. Every second counts, because this finite life, how you lead this finite life will decide what is your success in the infinite life. And also, even if you live this finite life with lead a purpose-driven life, you will live with meaning. I'm not saying that you don't have to work or you don't have to work, but what I'm saying is that you need to find the purpose. So when you are doing, like you are coaching people, so it is aligned with something like, say, serving the humanity. You got my point. So thing is that how you condition your brain. If you think that, okay, I'm helping the young people so that they can be the leader with character, leader with purpose, then they will contribute to create a better world. And that is why I am actually trying to comply the responsibility given to me by God, because God in Surah Baqarah, if you see, verse number 30, very clearly said that he has created human being as a vicegerent. That means he is representative. So if you think that you are actually contributing as the representative of God, then what you are doing actually, that is very much aligned with the purpose of life. But if you think that, okay, I'm doing it because I will be rich, I will earn more fame, I will do something else, people will be like, say, afraid of me, people think that I'm very successful, then you are just you are very short-sighted in your vision, because your vision is centered within this life. It is not transcending your life after the death. So yeah, it doesn't mean that you will not, because this life is very, very important. But at the end of the day, if you go to hell, you are failure. If you go to heaven, you are successful. That's what Quran said. And it's not about what I say. What matters is what God says.
Great. Yeah. So, a lot of time. Yeah, thank you for, giving us the, brief description, I would say, because it is success to us in this life, to some extent, is an illusion.
Yeah.
As you said, it's an illusion because we chase. We want to achieve many things in our lifetime. We want to gather, many things also in our lifetime. So thereby, it's always next. The moment I achieve one, and on that very moment, our very mind says, okay, next thing. The moment we achieve next crore, the very mind said, okay, next 5 crore. The moment we have one house, the mind says, next another house. So this next is actually driving us to the next and next and next, which is an illusion. As you said, life in this earth is really an illusion, and that is so forth designed. So how do we create the significance of life on earth? Because we are driven by next, by the mind. So what is the next in terms of acquisition and significance in terms of creation and contribution?
Okay, so first of all, let me come from a secular point of view. So for example, I should not even say secular, that may not be appropriate word. You see, Elon Musk told one thing. Elon Musk said that we have come here in this world empty-handed. We will die and go empty-handed. There is no reason not to try to achieve your dream. Okay, so achieve your dream, it doesn't mean that, you have all these possessions and next and next and next. Achieve your dream might be that how you can serve the humanity, because you are here, as I told you, Surah Baqarah, ayat, say verse 30, you are the vicegerent of God. So God has sent you as his representative. So now what you have to do, you have to be successful in a way that how many is like, if you ask something like this, that how many soul I can touch and transform. So something you are doing through your work, like you are transforming the young people. So they're in all positions you are holding in your life, say somebody working in the police, somebody working in the military, somebody is a teacher, somebody is a rickshaw puller, but they are, if they do it honestly to say earn a honest living and then provide their family and also serve the others, then you are aligning with the purpose of life. But one thing you told very clear, like that's very significant. So I just want to actually bring audiences attention to that. You just say that next. So I will just very small surah actually from Attaka surah. I will just read out the meaning of this surah. Very so শুরু করছি আল্লাহর নামে যিনি পরম করুণাময় অতি দয়ালু। প্রাচুর্যের প্রতিযোগিতা তোমাদেরকে মোহচ্ছন্ন করে রাখে, যতক্ষণ না পর্যন্ত তোমরা কবর সময়ে উপস্থিত হচ্ছ। এটা সঙ্গত নয়, শীঘ্রই এটা জানতে পারবে। আবার বলি, এটা সঙ্গত নয়, শীঘ্রই এটা জানতে পারবে। সাবধান, তোমাদের নিশ্চিত জ্ঞান থাকলে অবশ্যই তোমরা মোহচ্ছন্ন হতে না। তোমরা তো জাহান্নাম দেখবেই। আবার বলি, তোমরা তো ওটা দেখবেই চক্ষুষ প্রত্যয়ে। এরপর অবশ্যই সেদিন তোমার সুখ সম্পদ সম্বন্ধে জিজ্ঞাসিত হবে। So you can see that in this surah, what God is saying, that you are running after wealth, and we keep on run after wealth till we die. But we are not seeing things with our eyes. That's why we are running. But had we used our sight of knowledge and try to see what is the real thing, then we could have saved ourselves. But because we want to save ourselves by seeing things through our eyes, we will see one day, but we will see the fire. So what you have to consider is that it's very simple. Quran has given, okay, let me just bring you a kind of analogy. When I was in the Navy, so when we used to take the ship out of the harbor and go to the sea, we sometimes used to do some exercise called passage through swift channel. That means enemy has planted some mines and you have to go through the safe passage. So you bear on the mine. So Quran has cleared what is accepted, what is not accepted, which is haram. So you just avoid the haram and try to make a impact. So life is then also you can feel actually what is really happiness is all about. Because real happiness is when, it's like if you want to see, for example, that if you want to see BBC and then you tune into CNN, would you be able to see BBC? No. You have to tune into CNN. So when you are in sync with God, by understanding the purpose of creation, that is why you are created, and trying your best to deliver it, then you will find the real meaning and fulfillment. And let me tell you one more thing. Say you invite me for a dinner, and I'm trying to come to your dinner, but there is a traffic jam, and I could not reach to your dinner. So it will be counted as absent. You are unhappy. But you see, if you look at Surah Fatiha, what said that here, we say that show us the right path. So if you do the endeavor and come into the path and just face the right direction, you are struggling, it is accepted. So you see, it's not easy. God is very merciful. So I would say that think in terms of big life, like the life that transcends beyond death. And you are here to make a big impact, not just about your life, but other lives. And then you submit to your God, and God will also find out a way so that you can make a significant impact. I never thought that I would be able to teach in Queen Mary University of London. I never dream in my life, believe me or not. When I became, say, an academic in Coventry University, London, I thought that I got everything in my life. But then one day, one of my colleagues, he said that you should apply to this university. It's a big university, 900 years old. I was not even, but you see, God has opened up the path. I never thought that I could write a book. I've so far written 6 books. Another 3 is on the process. So I would say that if you struggle to make an impact into the world in the way God has created you and to make an impact, obviously you will find the way.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing all of these. So one last question, and then I want to open for the questions, because I think audience has many questions about your books and also some of the general questions. So I'll be taking up these questions. So finally, the big question, who we are, who am I?
Oh, it's a fantastic question, to be honest to do. So as I told very briefly before, that we are the vicegerent of God. So I would give you the reference so that you can kind of deduce who we are, That's very important. If you read verse 30 to 39 of Surah Baqarah, is very clearly what happened. God says that I am going to create vicegerent in the earth. And then the angels, they say that, oh, don't do that, because they will be doing bloodshed in the world. And God said that what I know, you don't know that. And then God taught the things to Adam. And then God brought Adam and asked angels to prostrate Adam. And they said that, oh, then said, okay, tell that, what is that? What is that? What is that? Angel could not answer, but Adam could answer. So God proved that Adam, by knowledge, is superior than angels at that point in time. Then there was an experimental model. Adam was sleeped by the devil, and then Adam repented. And so God descended the human being to manifest his purpose. So what we are here, actually, we are the God's vicegerent, and our strategic enemy is Shaitan, devil. And we should not be proud, like we should follow the footstep of angels, because they are humble. They prostrated Adam when Allah has commanded. But because Allah taught us things, that means we are a learning creature. We are a learning creature. We can learn. God is our teacher. So we can learn. If you want to learn, you can learn. And then we have been given a freedom and, like, say, free will choice, but with consequences. And also, as you understand that Shaitan is our enemy, so we should steer accordingly. So I would say that if you, I made a quick model. I will just tell you the 6 dimension quickly, that who are we. I said that human beings are God's vicegerent on earth. Human beings are learning creatures, and God is their teacher. Human beings are honored with intellect and free will, and entitled to make choices. Life in this world is for a limited term and test. Suffering is a way of transformation. Human beings have a grand mission, and Shaitan is their primary enemy, active to misguide them. And finally, I said human beings are likely to err. That means they're likely to make mistakes, but Almighty God is oft forgiving and merciful. So repentance is our way to come back. Yeah, that's the dimensions. Yeah.
Thank you. So shall we open up for the questions?
I'm not hearing you.
Shall we open up for the questions? Can you hear me now? Hello.
So I can hear you, but because was there a sound problem, because they could hear or not? Could you hear me, actually, Kamrul Bhai?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, please. How can we get this book in Bangladesh easily?
Oh, okay. So it's available in actually Amazon. So I'm not sure whether Amazon deliver it or not. But I don't know any publisher in Bangladesh. Obviously, if I get any connection, then I can also publish through them. But okay, so
but it's Amazon, right?
It's available in Amazon. But obviously, if people are interested, what I can do, I can start making some small video. But obviously, it is through Amazon.
But
I'm not a publisher, so
You
Sorry,
can
what's
see the
that?
way because you are Bangladeshi, so you can see the way to publish this book in Bangladesh for Bangladeshi people. We can read.
Yeah, okay. No, I'll be very delighted. So I actually could not manage to do that, but I mean, obviously I would see if even Kamrul bhai, if you can find any publisher or anybody, I mean, I'm more than delighted to do that actually.
All right. So maybe
Yeah,
Kindle
yeah.
is available, right, on Amazon. So digital version is available too, right? I believe in Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Any other questions from the audience? Please feel free to raise your hand and ask. Switch on your mic.
Ask some question now. I mean, in whatever the language, no matter. I speak Bengali, English, not a problem at all.
আপনারা যেভাবেই খুশি রাইট ডাইরেক্টলি প্রশ্ন করুন। ইউ আর মোস্ট ওয়েলকাম। আপনার নাম বলে আপনার পরিচয়টা পেশ করুন। এনিওয়ান?
হ্যাঁ, করুন, কোশ্চেন করুন, অসুবিধা নেই, বিকজ আসলে
questions are the answer. So that's what I believe.
Yeah. To be honest with you, and there is no bad question.
জি, শুনতে পাচ্ছি। প্লিজ।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার, আমি মামুন মুস্তাফা বলছি।
ডিজিটাল ভার্সন ইজ अवेलेबल, রাইট? আই বিলিভ।
স্যার শুনতে পাচ্ছেন কিনা আমাকে?
হ্যাঁ, আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার। আমার একটি কোশ্চেন, সেটি হচ্ছে যে আপনি অলরেডি মনে হয় আমার কাছে বলেছেন, আমি একটু আগে ঠিক মতন শুনতে পাচ্ছিলাম না। আপনার বইয়ের নাম আমি ইতিমধ্যে গুগল করে পেয়ে গিয়েছি, পারপাস অফ লাইফ। এটা নিয়ে আমি একটু আগে খুঁজছিলাম। সো এই পারপাস অফ লাইফ স্যার, আপনি যদি বলেন আপনার বইয়ের ভাষায় অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ আপনার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে যদি আমরা বলার চেষ্টা করেন, তাহলে এক কথায় কি বলতে পারি আমরা যে আমাদের লাইফের পারপাস কি? কারণ বিভিন্ন জনের কাছ থেকে আমরা একজন এক একভাবে ডিফাইন করে পারপাস অফ লাইফকে। কেউ হয়তো বা অর্থ দিয়ে ডিফাইন করে, কেউ হয়তো বা স্রষ্টার সাথে কানেক্টেড করার একটা দিয়ে ডিফাইন করে, কেউ হয়তো বা অন্যান্য আরো কিছু ইস্যুস দিয়ে কানেক্ট করার চেষ্টা করে। সো আপনার ক্ষেত্রে স্যার, এবং আপনার বইতে যে রিফ্লেকশনটি এসেছে সেটার আলোকে যদি বলেন যে হোয়াট ইজ ইউর পারপাস অফ লাইফ।
আচ্ছা, না, আমি বলছি আসলে আমি জাস্ট দেখেন, আসলে আমি পারপাস অফ লাইফ কি, এটা আমি কি বলবো, এটার কোনো মূল্য নাই আসলে। ইট ডাজন্ট হ্যাভ এনি ভ্যালু। আমি আপনাকে প্রথমেই বলেছি যে কোয়েশ্চেন যখন আপনি করবেন, রাইট কোয়েশ্চেন আমাদেরকে করতে হবে যখন পারপাস অফ লাইফ খুঁজছি। আমি যদি বলি যে আমার জীবনের পারপাস অফ লাইফ কি, আর আমার জীবনের লক্ষ্য কি, আমি বলছি যে এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা ঠিক না। কারণ যখন আমি বলতেছি যে আমার জীবনের লক্ষ্য কি, তার মানে আমি কিন্তু লক্ষ্যটা খুঁজছি। কিন্তু আমি যদি কোয়েশ্চেনটাকে চেঞ্জ করে দিই, আমি যদি বলি যে আমাকে কেন সৃষ্টি করা হয়েছে, বিকজ আমি তো জানি আমি আমাকে সৃষ্টি করিনি, তো আমাকে কেন সৃষ্টি করা হয়েছে, এইটা হলো কি রাইট কোয়েশ্চেন। এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা যদি আমি রাইট কোয়েশ্চেন না জিজ্ঞেস করি না, আমি রাইট উত্তর পাবো না। তো যখন আমি বলবো যে আমাকে কেন সৃষ্টি করা হয়েছে, তখন আমার কথার আর কোনো দাম থাকতেছে না যে পারপাস অফ লাইফ কি। তো সেখানে গড ক্লিয়ারলি বলে দিছে। আমি তো আপনাকে বললাম যে সূরা বাকারার 30 নম্বর আয়াত থেকে 39 নম্বর আয়াত পড়েন, আর আপনার পড়েন আপনার সূরা ইমরানের 185 নম্বর আয়াত। সো 185 নম্বর আয়াতে আল্লাহ তাআলা বলে দিছে যে মেইন সাকসেস ইন লাইফ হচ্ছে যে ভেস্তে যাওয়া, এন্ড এই দুনিয়ার লাইফটা হচ্ছে টেস্টিং গ্রাউন্ড। এখন কাউকে টাকা দিয়ে টেস্ট করবে, কাউকে কষ্ট দিয়ে টেস্ট করবে, কাউকে জ্ঞান দিয়ে টেস্ট করবে, কাউকে মাসেল দিয়ে টেস্ট করবে। এখন আপনাকে যে গিফটটা দেওয়া হয়েছে, আপনি হচ্ছে যে গডের ভাইস জারেন্ট, মানে প্রতিনিধি পৃথিবীতে। ইউ হ্যাভ বিন ক্রিয়েটেড অ্যাজ এ ভাইস জারেন্ট অফ গড। দ্যাট ইজ দি অনার অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওভার ইভেন দি অ্যাঞ্জেলস। সো আপনি অ্যাজ এ ভাইস জারেন্ট, আপনাকে বিভিন্ন, এভরি হিউম্যান বিং হ্যাজ গট সামথিং ইউনিক। এবং আল্লাহ তাআলা এটাও বলছে যে আমি তাদেরকে ক্ষুধা, অন্ন, দারিদ্র, মৃত্যুর ভয়, মৃত্যু এইসব দিয়েও পরীক্ষা করবো। ওয়ালা নাবলুয়ান্নাকুম মিন শাইইম মিনাস জুই। সো এটা হলো কি আপনার এই 156 নম্বর আয়াত সূরা বাকারা। তো এখন আমার কথা হচ্ছে যে আপনি পারপাস অফ লাইফ হচ্ছে যে বেসিক্যালি সাবমিট টু গড অ্যান্ড সার্ভিস টু হিউম্যানিটি। সাবমিট টু গড, সার্ভিস টু হিউম্যানিটি, অ্যান্ড গো টু হ্যাভেন। This is what is the purpose of life. এখন বাকি যেগুলো আপনি করতেছেন, that could be the means to go there. So এখন আপনাকে what you have to have the iman. Like you have to think, you have to be answerable to God. Whatever you do, if you don't put yourself answerable to God, you will not be able to actually do the right thing, because you can always deceive everybody in the world, but you cannot deceive God, because the person we are thinking God, that God is all knowing, God has, we have to also believe the life hereafter, because in the Quran, there are 6 articles of faith has been mentioned, but most of the time, two things have been mentioned. That if you believe in God and the day of judgment, if you believe in God, day of judgment, time and again, that means what? That means you are also answerable. So if you can put yourself answerable to God and make impact in your way, in your role to serve the humanity, then I think that you are aligning yourself to the purpose of God, and God will open up a path for you to make a bigger impact. But as I told you, in one word, submit to God, service to humanity, go to heaven. That's it.
Brilliant. Okay, so just to share with you, Dr. S.M.A. Moin, Mr. Mamun Al Mostoba, who is also serving in Bangladesh Institute of Management, the flagship organization of Bangladesh government, what is actually imparting knowledge and serving the corporate community. He's there as faculty from the management development program. So I know him personally as well. Thank you, Mamun Mustafa Bhai, for being here and asking the questions. Any
Thank
other
you so much,
questions?
sir.
Anyone? Ji. Any other questions? We would welcome, if you want to raise your questions, please.
হ্যাঁ, বলেন।
আমি আরিফ বলছিলাম ঢাকা থেকে। আমার একটা প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে, আমরা পারপাস অফ লাইফের যে এক্সপ্লেনেশনটা আপনার কাছ থেকে জানতে পারলাম, আমার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে যে আমি অনেক সময় আমরা দেখি যে পারপাস অফ লাইফ ক্যান হেল্প, যে আমার প্রত্যেকটা মানুষ একটা আলাদা আলাদা স্ট্রেংথ নিয়ে পৃথিবীতে আসছে। সো যখন পারপাস এন্ড স্ট্রেংথ উই ক্যান কানেক্ট বোথ দেম, and that will help my career, এবং খুব ডাইনামিকলি আমরা সেটা এনজয় করি, and that gives us happiness and gives also success. So now my question is, how you can differentiate your explanation যে পারপাস অফ লাইফ আমার স্ট্রেংথকে কানেক্ট করা, এবং আপনি যে ব্যাখ্যা দিলেন, এই দুইটাকে আসলে কিভাবে ডিফারেন্সিয়েট করবেন? বিকজ অফ আমার স্ট্রেংথের সাথে আমার পারপাস যদি মিলে যায়, দেন আমি কিন্তু ওটা এনজয় করবো অনেকখানি, এবং আমার পুরো লাইফটাই অন্যরকম হবে। কিন্তু এইখানে এই যেভাবে আপনি এক্সপ্লেনেশন করলেন, এই ডিফারেন্সিয়েটটা একটু জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম।
আচ্ছা, ওকে, that's a fantastic question.
ছোট প্রশ্ন, যে আসলে কি কোনো ফ্রেমওয়ার্ক আছে যার মাধ্যমে আমরা সত্যি আপনার এক্সপ্লেনেশন হোক বা যার এক্সপ্লেনেশনই হোক, এর মাধ্যমে আমরা কোনো ফ্রেমওয়ার্কের মাধ্যমে আমাদের পারপাসটা আমরা সত্যি আমাদের স্ট্রেংথের সাথে ম্যাচ করে ফাইন্ড আউট করতে পারি?
Okay, so as I told you that actually, if you think what is your purpose, that's one thing. It's not actually purpose, it's passion. So if you say that, okay, what I am good at, what I enjoy doing, and what people will value, and then if you find out a career, we will excel in your career. That's fine. Obviously, that's absolutely fine. And you can contribute in your career. You can make an impact. Say, for example, if you are good in teaching or explaining things, and if you become a teacher, you can contribute to people's life. So that's aligned with the purpose, because actually you are serving the humanity in a better way. Say somebody is not good in teaching and he is in teaching, then probably he is not contributing in that way. But what I said is that the question you need to ask that, why am I created? So it's not you deciding the purpose or I am deciding the purpose. I'm saying that very clearly, that I am not telling this is the purpose of life. What I'm saying, what God has said. So God has said that I have created you as my vicegerent, and the main success is that you can save yourself from hell and go to heaven. So now you can be the richest man, you can be Elon Musk in the world, and you enjoy doing what you do. But if you die without Iman and if you go to hell, then I would say that you have not made the purpose of life. So what I'm saying here is that No matter what you do, your career, aligning your strength and finding the right career, that's another thing. That's not the grand purpose of life. Yeah, you can consider it a small purpose or something like that, or you can call it like, say, a means to go somewhere. What I'm trying to say is that we have to surrender to God, and we have to obey his order so that at the end of the day, we can go to heaven. But now, when we are doing something, if we think that we have been sent here as a vicegerent of God and we are answerable to him, and you know, Surah Mulk, it is said, verse number 2, that I have created life and death to judge who is good in deeds. So if you think that you will be judged, you will be sincere, and you will understand this life is very precious. Every single moment you will use it. And then you have to try a number of things. You don't think that, okay, this is my strength. You might know wrong things, because somebody might think that without trying anything, that this is my strength. What I normally teach to my student, if I come back to this worldly kind of thing, that you have to try as many things as possible, because your talent is hidden inside you. It's not that you will find it, just you dig something and you'll find it. You might have to dig deeper. So you have to try many things when you are actually as a student, or when you are initially as a starting your career. So many people think that so if they work in a big company, they will be successful. But do you know what Jack Ma has said? Jack Ma said that when you start your first career, don't worry about the big company. Worry about who is your boss. Because if your boss is good boss, he will make you good. The more challenges you get, you will transform. So sometime you might think that this is my strength, but are you absolutely sure that this is your strength? Did I know when I was working in the Navy that I can write books or I can teach in the university? I discovered this thing at the age of 42. So what I would say that no matter what opportunity comes in front of you, take it very seriously, work very sincerely, and think that you will be answerable for every action you take, because you have to even use your time very sincerely. And then you will find out the way. You will see that. I mean, I can tell you from my life that God will find out the way so that you can make some impact into the world. But overall, what is important is that, you know, you have to do things so that you can go to heaven, because otherwise it will be absolutely vain. So you can be everything, but if you miss that thing, you have to get that train to heaven, and then whatever you do, that's fine.
Thank you for the answer. So just, okay, there is one more question, if anyone. Okay, so anybody else would like to ask questions? Yes, Mr. Maruf.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. This is Kamrul Hasan. I'm a digital entrepreneur and a digital marketer. Okay, so my question to the honorable speaker. So we were talking about the purpose of life and actually what we are here. What is our task? So, but everything is absolutely fine, fantastic. I agree with you. But one more point, actually, I'm to share, or it's my curiosity that what actually was the society and actually we're in the world right now living. That's it's. Yeah. So it's like we are in a consumerized society. Okay, so we have lots of demand. We don't know what's actually we need. Okay, so what's actually our day life purpose, day life need, and also some what's we are actually very greedy right now. So in this situation, so actually a right way is the right way to think about the purpose of life, or why actually you are talking about some Islamic quotes. That's very alhamdulillah, it's fantastic. But our structure, our society, and our actually the way of life actually is actually the right track for being the for achieve the purpose of right now in this situation, because we are facing a tough situation, after pandemic or some, we don't know actually what's happening in the future, after day after tomorrow, or in the day after next year. So is the society and the structure and the actually I'm talking about the what's actually what need, what's actually my need. Can we identify this, and can we talk about every day what's actually need for us as a human? Thank you so much.
All right. So basically, this question boils down the art of living, right? In this era, something like this, right? How do we live? How do you work, right?
Yeah,
In a nutshell, 2 words: art of living.
yeah, I mean, if you are say trying to understand that how you can be successful in your career, that's one thing. That might be a very tiny aspect of your life, but that's not the reason that God has created you. So yeah, you have to do that. I'm not denying that. Don't misunderstand me. But when you say purpose of life, as I told you, that if you say my purpose of life, then you find out that's another thing. But I say that why you are created, that what God has decided when he has created you. I'm talking about that. So it's two different subjects actually. So, I mean, if you are a digital marketer, for example, so there are many ways actually you can earn money. There are many ways. There are tons of ways. I was looking at a video today. A young girl, actually, her father was a Uber driver, and then her father died, and she used to write a novel, and then after her father died, actually, she used to take some help from other relatives. But all on a sudden, her novel actually became popular, and she started getting a lot of money, and she take over the responsibility of the family. So you can master some craft. You can try to be the best in certain things. That is another thing. You have to do that, because when we in the Quran they say that after the prayer you have to go for the work. So now, if you think about, even if I'm not preaching that, okay, that you leave everything and you only do something. I'm not at all telling that. I'm saying that whatever you do, you just keep your compass into the right direction, that you are going to meet your Lord. Whether you believe it or not, you will die one day, and then you will meet your Lord. So what I'm just saying that, okay, you can be best in your craft. That's absolutely fine, but be honest. But remember that how can you be honest? When you think that you will not be judged, you will not be answerable to God after your death. And if you do wrong things, you will be punished or you will be rewarded. And that's infinite. If you believe in that, you will see that you will make every single moment of your life, say, meaningful. You will be working hard. You will be trying to win through the right way, not through the wrong way. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. But how you can be successful, or how you can say do something in a different way. I've written a book on creativity in the imagination age. So we are living in the imagination age now. So now you can achieve whatever you want to do. Say, for example, it took radio 38 years to get 50 million users. It took TV 13 years to get 50 million users. It took internet 4 years to get 50 million users. It took Facebook 1 year to get 50 million users. It took 9 months for Twitter to get 50 million users. What does it mean? It means now you can be a leader overnight. If you have a message, if you can pass your message, some part of the world, somebody will resonate with your message and you can be successful. But that's another discussion. We can have that discussion separately. I'm not talking about, say, how to use creativity, how to generate business, how to become a charismatic leader. Yeah, I have books on that. But today I'm talking about how can you be successful in the terms of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So no matter what you do, you become a billionaire. But if you go to hell, I will say that you are failure. But how you want to be successful in your career, we can have a separate session. That's fine. I've got many books. It's like if you write my name, S.M.A. Moin, you will see some of them. But today, because we have to understand what is our purpose of life. Thing is that we are bombarded with this consumerism and all other thing, and we forgot the real
Right.
meaning.
Right. So, Dr. SMA Moin, I have a few questions. One of them coming from one of my good friend, Mr. Mr. Ihor Reveha. He's from actually Ukraine. So he's now living in Canada. So Mr. Ihor is asking, Kingdom of Heaven is inside you. What does it mean for you?
Kingdom of heaven is inside me. That's who said. Is it in the Quran or not? So yeah, but you can explain it in a way that if you
Right. No, he's actually non-Muslim. Probably by name you can understand him, right? He's
okay.
coming from Ukraine. His name is Ihor Reveha. So he's concerned. I think he's not Muslim, so he's not aware about definitely a Quran. So how would you want to respond?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I think it is a meaningful phrase if you want to deduce meaning. So if you say kingdom of heaven is inside you, so inside you is what? Inside you is the belief or is the faith. So if you think that, okay, who is your creator? You look for your creator. And if you find out the right creator, and then if you find out the right purpose, and then if you can control your heart, that means inside you is the heart, and there is something called righteous heart. So if you, I mean, I can have a long discussion. I'm not going on that is, the nafs, ruh, spirit, and all those things. But what I can tell you is that it is very meaningful thing is that if you can control your heart and if you can align your heart with your God, then possibly will find the way towards God. So thereby, I would take it as a metaphor, and that metaphor has a good meaning as well. So you have to conquer your heart.
Yeah. I think this is, as far as the Bible is concerned, is coming from the kingdom of heaven is within you. So that means once you think, once you feel, once you believe, you experience the righteousness and goodness inside you, and the feeling of believing gives you the profoundness, the peace of mind, and and on that aspect, definitely what I have came across from the Taurat, Jabur, Injil, and Quran, the four, God's verses in different ways of different era, right? So one of the verses coming from Bible on that way, I think he's referring that.
Yeah. But as I told you that, so yeah, it's a metaphorically. There are a lot of metaphoric verses in Quran as well. So we do consider that the Injil, the Zabur, and other things, all this, the book actually, this has come from God, and they also come from the one and only God. And Quran is the last message. That's what we believe actually. But anyway,
Absolutely.
We don't want to take it to very religious level at this conversation. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, we believe all these four scripts of God, and we must believe as a Muslim. That's what, also my views. Thank you. And I want to thank everyone for taking part in this conversation. I want to make this alive, and I want to assure you also that I would like to bring Dr. SMA Moin in our future conversation as well, because tonight is not enough. So it's already been more than an hour. And I want to thank everyone here and for having your patience.
There was something called, there was a question, probably last question. Somebody just, if we can quickly address that, or something.
Please take it. Please take it.
Yeah, Pallav Kumar Basak, if you would like to ask the question. Yeah.
All right. So if you want to take it, definitely most welcome. Mr. Pallav Kumar.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity. Yes, and also thank yes, Moin bhai. Good evening from Bangladesh actually, and this is Pallav. Yes, I was yes, I have I've learned many things. Both of you. Just my little question is okay. How we can transform ourselves, or how we can increase our consciousness actually. Most of the time actually I try to, but sometimes I face the problems because a lot of things we are so much affected, especially material things. We are living in such a universe or in a world most of the things are materialized, and all of us also inclined us. So we cannot get rid of this thing. But still, now the time has come to, yes, to bring, to bring to come out ourselves to the God actually. That's why my question is how we can yes, increase our consciousness, or we can transform to the, yes, God.
I mean, if you ask me, I would say probably thing is that, I mean, obviously you need to reflect a lot as well. Something like that, that you have to reflect that, okay, I mean, everybody's dying. I have come here. Where have I come here? Where am I going? And then maybe you can read the, divine scripture. You can read Quran. You can even read some part of the Bible as well. Because you need to compare, actually, see that, but you need to understand that what is the things. See, I mean, if you think that you die and then it is finished, that's one kind of perception. But as I told very beginning that life is not ending actually after our death, because this is a testing ground. And, sometimes, many people might feel hurt when I'm saying something like, okay, because many people are encountering a lot of hardship, a lot of challenges in life. I have, you will not believe actually, when I come to UK, actually, I left, I lived in one apartment, so one room, basement apartment. I didn't see, like when I'm in the apartment, 22 months, the sunlight. So everybody go through challenges. But if you understand that when you go through challenges, that is the way of transformation. You go to any motivational speaker, it's like, Kamrul is a great motivational speaker. So the people, those who succeed, they are the ones who bounce back when there is setback. If you don't go through challenges, you will not be transformed. But what I'm saying is that you need to reflect. You need to reflect actually on the greater meaning of life. Because we normally, what we do, we read and think, we memorize, we deliver, we sit for exam, but we don't reflect. But if you look at the great philosophers like, the Socrates, Aristotle, and all these people, at that time they were reflecting. So when you read something and if you reflect, you will see that you are finding a different meaning actually. Okay, so that's very briefly, I will say that if you reflect, and maybe I would welcome you to read Quran actually. So that will be the first thing. Somebody has asked a question. I will just answer very quickly. এমন কিছু বইয়ের নাম বলুন যে একজন বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ছাত্রছাত্রীদের পড়া উচিত। আমি এখানে যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে ফার্স্ট অফ অল, আপনি যদি বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পড়েন, আপনার ইনস্ট্যান্ট যে সাবজেক্টগুলো পড়ছেন ওখানে রেজাল্টটা ভালো করতে হবে। অনেকে হয় কি জাস্ট কনসেপ্টটা শিখতেছে, শুধু একটা কনসেপ্ট জানে, ওইটার যে ইউটিলাইজেশনটা কি সেটা জানে না। তো এখন ডিপেন্ড করতেছে যে আপনি কোন লাইনের বইয়ের কথা বলতেছেন। সে আপনি যদি আমাকে লিডারশিপ বইয়ের কথা বলেন, ফর এক্সাম্পল, লিডারশিপ জন ম্যাক্সওয়েলের যেসব বই আছে এগুলো কাটিং এজ বুক। তারপরে অথেন্টিক লিডারশিপ একটা বই আছে। আমি একটা বই লিখেছি যে লিডারশিপ কম্পাস, সেখানে আমি কিন্তু কোরআন থেকে অনেক কনসেপ্ট নিয়ে আসছি, কিন্তু শুধু কোরআন না, সেখানে আমি আবার লিডারশিপ থিওরি এবং কোরআন, হাউ উই টকড অ্যাবাউট সোল, উই টকড অ্যাবাউট বডি, উই টকড অ্যাবাউট মেনি থিংস। সো আজকালকার দুনিয়ায় আসলে অ্যাক্সেস টু ইনফরমেশন ইজ নট এট অল এ প্রবলেম। বাট আমি আপনাকে যেটা বলতেছি, যখন আপনি পড়বেন, পড়াটাকে এনজয় করতে হবে, পড়াটাকে মনে করতে হবে যে আপনি একটা জ্ঞানের সাগরে ডুবে যাচ্ছেন। সো যতক্ষণ না পর্যন্ত আপনি আপনার এই জ্ঞান আহরণটাকে এনজয় না করতে পারবেন, ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত কিন্তু ট্রান্সফরমেশন হবে না। এই যে অ্যাবসলিউটলি এইটাই যে এই যে কামরুল ভাইয়ের স্টোরিটাই, যেটা কামরুল ভাই যখন শুরু করেছে, এখন কামরুল ভাই ইজ এ ডিফারেন্ট পারসন, বাট হি হ্যাজ টু গো থ্রু লট অফ স্ট্রাগল, বাট হি হ্যাজ রেড অল দ্য way, right, Kamrul bhai? I think you can also tell that. So you have to enjoy reading. You have to জ্ঞান পিপাসা থেকে বড় পিপাসা আর নাই। যে জ্ঞান পিপাসার জ্ঞানের মজাটা যে পাবে, আমার কথা হচ্ছে যে তার জীবনটাই ঘুরে যাবে। আমি যদি কোরআনও পড়েন, কোরআন যখন পড়বেন, আপনি যদি এই নিয়তে পড়তে হবে যে আপনাকে আল্লাহ আপনার জন্য কি মেসেজটা পাঠিয়েছে। আমি আপনাকে জাস্ট ছোট্ট একটা কথা বলি। আমি কিছুদিন আগে কোরআন মুখস্থ করার চেষ্টা করেছিলাম এবং আমার মোটামুটি 5% কোরআন আমি মোটামুটি আমার মুখস্থ আছে। বাট আমি করতাম কি, আমি যখন রাস্তায় হেঁটে যেতাম আমার বাস ধরার জন্য ইউনিভার্সিটিতে যাওয়ার আগে, আমি তখন একটা ভার্স লিখে নিতাম কাগজে, ওইটা দেখে পড়তাম, যাচ্ছি এভাবে মুখস্থ করতাম। আমার মুখস্থ হতো না, আমি খুব ডিসহার্টেন্ড হয়ে যেতাম। তো আমি আমাকে কিভাবে মোটিভেশন দিলাম, আমি চিন্তা করে আমি জাস্ট ছোট্ট, এটা আপনাদের মোটিভেশনের জন্য। আমি চিন্তা করলাম যখন কোরআন প্রফেটের কাছে নাজিল হচ্ছিল তখন তো সাহাবীরা ছিল, এমন অনেক সাহাবী আছে যারা মারা গেছে কোরআনের 2-3টা ভার্স নাজিল হওয়ার পরে, অথবা সে 100 ভার্স নাজিল হওয়ার পরে। তারা তো রেস্ট অফ দি কোরআনের ভার্স দেখে নাই। তা আমি ধরে নিচ্ছি যে আমার সিচুয়েশনটা ওরকম, যে আমি যখন যে ভার্সটা পড়তেছি আমি মনে করতেছি এই ভার্সটা মনে এখন নাজিল হয়েছে, লেট মি মেমোরাইজ, অ্যানাদার ভার্স উইল কাম। তো এইভাবে আপনাকে একটা মোটিভেশন বের করতে হবে। সি, you got to motivate yourself, and only the motivation that will last long is when you can see life on a transcendent level. Because as Kamrul Bhai said very rightly, that the next will never be finished. But if you just close your eyes and you can't see anything, and you realize that you have got 2 eyes, you can see, then you will see that you have got everything. What is the price of eyes? What is the price that you can talk? What is the price that you can touch? What is the price that you can eat? There are many rich people, they can't eat. So
Correct.
compare your life with somebody who does not have what you have, and try to be grateful, and Allah will find out a bigger way for you to make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. SMA Moin Bhai. Thank you all. I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for sharing. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Bhai. Thank you.